The Madison County Board of Education special session for Thursday, April 8th, 2021 is called into order. Ms. Bates, would you mind doing the invocation for us?
Dear Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for this day and this beautiful time of year that you've given us. And thank you for all the things that are so exciting for many of our students as we near the year's end. And I pray that you would help us make decisions that help celebrate those things as well as keep our children safe. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I recommend approval of the agenda dated April the 8th, 2021.
Motion?
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the recommendation for the agenda. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, informational items, just COVID update. Just wanted to remind everyone, last board meeting, I went ahead and let everyone know that we will be continuing to wear masks in our schools, faculty, staff, students, throughout the remainder of the school year, and visitors coming into our buildings. Sent something out to parents this week. That information went out as well via BBCom as well as email. And also just kind of wanted to reiterate that, a lot of our faculty and our staff members have had the opportunity to get the vaccine. We do have some who have not, who wanted to get it up to this point. Most of them have had the opportunity. There's still some who have not had that opportunity as of yet. However, there are some additional opportunities coming up. I know at Riverton, we had a doctor's office who actually will be giving some vaccines to several of our teachers over there who actually desire to have that, and we're appreciative for that opportunity. And then we should have, with the vaccine opportunities, have already signed up with our teachers. Somewhere around mid-May to end of May, should have vaccine available for us, those who have not had the opportunity but desire to have it. And so we just want to make sure that those who desire to actually get the vaccine can have that opportunity. And we want to make sure that as we continue, we are continuing to do our due diligence and, being as safe as possible, masking up, sanitizing. We're continuing those processes to do those things that's making it as safe as an environment that we possibly can for our students. So just wanted to give an update on where we were. Our numbers, looked at our numbers today. Well, and I say today, but we look at our numbers, on a continual basis. And right now in our district, our numbers look really good in comparison when you start thinking about where we have been. And I hope and pray that we continue on that positive trajectory as we move into the summer months. So that's just the update that I wanted to give. I just wanted to share that with everyone.
Do you foresee after the school year's over, going into the next year, if all things kind of remain the same, are we going to release the mask mandate going into the next school year, or is that?
We're going to continue to evaluate and look at where we are and pull the information that our health professionals give. There are many individuals or groups that still are really. They talk about how the masks are beneficial, and they're still, they're helpful, especially in high congregate areas, environments, where you're not able to social distance as you readily can. So we're going to look at it and keep evaluating just like we have been, and then make the best decision that we can for our faculty and our staff and our students, just to keep everyone safe.
I would like to try to get to a point where in the classroom they're not required, especially if the teacher has been vaccinated, because it's a hindrance to communication.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those things where pulling the data, connecting with our health professionals, evaluating where our teachers are, and that's one of the things, some of our teachers still have not had the opportunity to be vaccinated,
Right.
but I see what
Certainly
you're
next
saying.
school year, everyone should have had an opportunity. And if you
Absolutely.
choose not to, you kind of have to live with those consequences.
Yes, we're evaluating all of those things as we move forward.
All right, any Any more discussion on that? Okay. 2023 school calendar update. Mr. Cubic?
Good evening, Board. How are you doing this evening?
Well,
Good. I have a draft for you to look at. You each should have a copy at your desk there. I've met with Huntsville City and Madison City. Madison City has already completed their drafts. They're very similar to ours, especially the breaks. Our breaks are identical as far as spring break, fall break, and Christmas breaks. Huntsville City has not even started drafting theirs, but they tend to take a lead from our district and follow along with where we're going. And usually Madison's the one that's a little bit different than our two districts, and Madison's already on board with it. So just to kind of go over the calendar, we'll take a quick look at it. This is going back to 180 student days as opposed to our previous 178 that we've been doing. So we'll be back to 180 student days. We'll have 6 professional development days on the front end, and we'll start on August the 3rd, which is a Wednesday, which is really good for our phase-in program, so we can phase in our elementary schools, our kindergartens into that 3, 3, and 3. So it's a great way to start the school year with the first 3 days. Of course, we'll have Labor Day off, and then the first week of October would be fall break. The reason why it's the first week and not the second week is because the second week tends to be where the PSAT test is, which is on that Wednesday, which is the exam that is for national merit finalists, and so you want all your sophomores available to take the exam. So that's why, and Madison's on the same as us, they're doing the first week in October. Then we'll have Veterans Day, which is a Friday. We'll have a full week off for Thanksgiving, and then we will finish up first semester on the 16th of December. That will be a half day for students, and then we'll be out for 2 weeks and a day for the Christmas break. We'll start back on January the 3rd, which will be the first day of second semester. Of course, be off for Martin Luther King and President's Day in February, and then a perfect split of the second semester, 47 days on the front end and 47 days of the second. So we'll have a fall, spring break will be the perfect split between the two. So that second semester's got a perfect 47 on the front and 47 on the back. And then we'll have one weather day just in case in April on the 7th. And then graduations will be half days on the 23rd and the 24th. And the teacher's final day of work day will be on May the 25th, and schools will be out prior to Memorial Day. And again, the breaks are all aligned with our sister systems. And Shirley Wellington, who does Huntsville City, said that she was going to take our drafts and just create one from our drafts to present to her people in Huntsville City. But
can you remind us while we try to align it with the other systems, while we try to make sure our calendars are fairly aligned with the other districts?
it's really because we have employees that are both in, have students in Madison and Huntsville. And so when they're off and their students are off, our employees will try to be off. So we try to align those big breaks being spring break, fall break, and Christmas break so that we have the cross between the 3 districts where they're off at similar time periods. It's just a lot better for all 3 districts and for our employees as well as their students.
Students are involved in churches from different systems too, and they do things.
Right.
Yeah, I will say I get a lot of requests from the community to keep, they don't always give me a reason, but I get that request frequently to please keep the breaks together so that families that perhaps have children, like sisters that have, one lives in Huntsville City and one, but they're cousins, they all want to go on vacation together. So it helps families be able to stay cohesive in their vacation times as well.
We've always really been closely aligned with Huntsville City, but now with Dr. Nichols over at Madison City, he's made a push to align all 3. And so Madison's on board with Huntsville and Madison County to try and align all 3 districts inside Madison County borders to be on the same schedule. The subtle differences between us and Madison is they have a few more half days or professional development days built in different areas. And of course, because we all use the Von Braun Civic Center for our graduations, those have to be altered. So they have specific days for theirs, we have specific days for ours, and of course Huntsville has specific days for theirs. So that would be the only subtle differences. as far as when they begin and when they end. But even Madison's going to be starting on that Wednesday. That their plan right now is to start on August 3rd and do a phase-in just like we are. It's the closest we've ever been with Madison City being almost identical. Their big thing is they're going to end a little bit later than we are, a day later. Is there any other questions?
Very good, thank you, Mr. Cubic.
We'll bring this back for you at probably the next board meeting to go ahead and get this passed. Okay? Thank you.
Very good, thank you.
Administrative items. Item A, I recommend approval of the supplement addition to the Director of Information Technology's salary schedule as submitted.
Motion.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second?
I have a motion and a second for the recommendation for approval of the supplement addition to the Director of Information Technology salary schedule. Any discussion?
This is the vote to add the additional money to the salary, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, me and also Mr. Malone and others, we had conversations about the need to find creative ways to incentivize this IT director position. The salary, the default salary, I felt and I think others felt was kind of kept us out of competition. And so we wanted to look at some certifications that were industry standards that created some opportunities for prospective people to look at that and look at possibly getting that bump. Now, you won't get that unless you, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Perkins, you will not receive the supplement unless you have all these certifications or equivalent certifications. Is that correct?
That is correct, and it has to be maintained.
Has to be maintained.
If it's not
That
maintained,
was my question, if a certification fell off, like they didn't renew it, or whatever,
yeah, that,
the 10,000 comes off.
yes,
of
that
the salary.
supplement falls off if they do not. That is correct.
But that person will still remain in that position.
Yes,
That's
yes,
correct.
absolutely.
And let me ask this, is there, hiring them without those certifications, they don't get that right now.
They do not.
But
They have to have those.
is there a timeline of how long we're going to give them to get those certifications?
The
Or can they wait
certification-
5 years?
The certification is not a requirement for employment. It is
Okay.
a requirement
It's an
for the,
incentive.
right, it's
Okay.
for the incentive, the supplement.
So there's no timeline that they have to get it?
No.
Okay.
I know at least two of these certifications, I can't speak for the third one, the COSIN certification, but at least two of them require a renewal process if you want to continue the certification. So, you know, if they get it, I know that, for example, the Security Plus or equivalent, there's higher certifications than the Security Plus. There are much higher ones than that, but if they got that one, you got a 3-year recertify.
Okay.
So
And that's something that they have to do on their own, right?
something they have to do on their own, correct.
Okay, thank you.
Also with the project management as well.
Okay.
All right, we have a motion and a second for the approval. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Item B, I recommend approval of the contracts for services as submitted.
Motion?
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the recommendation for approval of contracts for services. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Item C, I recommend approval of the following personnel items and addendum as submitted.
Motion?
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the recommendation for approval of personnel items and addendums as attached. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Item D, I recommend approval of the supplemental contract and the discontinued contracts as submitted.
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for the recommendation for approval of supplemental contracts and discontinued contracts as attached. Any discussion?
Is this the summer school teachers? Is that what we're calling them?
Some of the supplemental contracts, yes, some of them are, and then the discontinuation of individuals who are not in a particular
Gotcha.
contracted position.
I had a teacher ask me, what's the criteria to be one of these teachers during the summer? Has everybody already been hired, or is there room for more? Or?
Mrs. Solly, can you answer that?
It really depends on what the program's gonna be offering. So, like if it's a high school, they know they probably gonna need a math teacher, and English language arts, so it may be based off their certification. If it's elementary or middle school, well, if it's elementary, they should have data that shows that they're effective in, moving kids, because they're gonna be working with kids that are deficient in reading. Kind of the same thing for middle school. I mean, it's gonna be more remediation, so they're looking for teachers that.
And are you trying to keep the teachers, just say central school, are you trying to keep a teacher from central school at central school?
Yeah,
Okay.
More, I mean, now, we do have some schools, we do have some places where, like a teacher from Central may go to,
Madison County?
or Devo and teach, so there's nothing wrong with that.
It would just be easier to keep them at the same school.
We would, they know the kids, they already have.
They know the needs.
There and stuff, we would prefer that, that they look internally first, but we've had a few cases where they're not having enough teachers want to do it, so they're having to look outside the school to fill those positions, so.
Thank you, sir.
Is there any further discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That is the end of our agenda items. Dr. Minsky sent all of us, we should have a sheet of paper about the summer proposed board meeting dates. You guys should have that. If you don't, we can get you one. Oh, did I just get it? I'm sorry. Was I the only one? I can call these dates out.
You just wanted Nathan to come?
I thought you all had it out. My apologies. We can go through all these dates if we want to right now. Y'all can just kind of mark them. Or if there's definitely a date that that won't work, just let us know. We can review that. We have June the 3rd.
I'll be out that one.
You'll be out? Okay. We have June the 24th. Let's see. July 15th. July 26th. That's on a Monday.
And that's the day before teachers would come back.
Okay.
Mostly it'd be personnel.
Okay. Tuesday, August 3rd. Okay. And Thursday, August the 19th. My sister's birthday. I may not make it. No, I'm kidding. I'll be here. They'll be all right. Okay. So Sherry, just June the 3rd, that's the only one? Okay, all right.
You want to look for another day,
I don't think any day will work.
or? Okay.
As long as it's just Sherry, we'll be okay, I think. All right. Well, I just want to say I appreciate Snyder and Mr. Malone and others getting the electric vehicle charging station installed. I was able to use that a few minutes ago to charge my car off, to top it off, so thank you guys for getting that set up. I will say that there are several sites you can publish the charging station. You may have some random people show up, which is typically fine unless you want them reserved to Board of Education employees. There's a site called PlugShare. There's another one called, I want to say ChargePoint. I may have that off. But people publish these charging stations, and so if people are traveling through, they can stop and get a top off. So you may want to consider something like that. But I appreciate it for myself. The community is going to appreciate it, and the district appreciates it. So I thank you, Schneider, and others. Mr. Malone, I appreciate you working on that process. All right, I have nothing. Y'all have anything for the good of the board? All right, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned.